questions which you are going to have in this exam are 40 questions. All right, total sections are 4. Okay, 4 sections, 40 questions, 30 minutes time. All right, so in section 1 particularly, you're going to have a conversation between 2 people. It could be a telephonic conversation or one-on-one conversation. It depends, but this is for sure that you're going to have a conversation which is kind of a general one, could be on any topic, but it is between 2 people. One is asking questions and other person is answering these questions. All right, so just look at this section here. It says the instructions are very important. All right, so every time you're going to start your section, you need to read these instructions carefully. Now here, this instruction is very important. Write no more than 3 words or numbers for each answers. Of course, this information is very important. And the other thing is about the conversation, just like here. Listen to the conversation between a student, Angela Tong, and Bob Willis, who is the student advisor at a language school. Complete the form. So this is the form you have to complete. So this question type is form completion question type. All right, so you are not going to write no more than 3 words or a number, right? All right, what it means that you can write 3 words at maximum 3 words. Okay, so it could be 1 word answer or 2 words answer, just like here you can see. This is an example here. Name Angela Thong, so it is Angela Thong. These are the 2 words, right? And here you can see a number, student number H5712. So this is what it means. All right, so the thing is that when you are going to have this paper, this printed material on your exam day, there are 2 things you have to do which are very important. Now, number 1 is that you are going to look at all the questions in the given time. The time is short though, but for section 1 you're going to have around a minute and a half, because they give you some instructions in that section. So you're not actually going to listen to those instructions, because those instructions are same all the time, same instructions. So it's better if you look at your questions in that time too. So because question is very important to understand. You know, these questions, if you don't understand the question, you won't be able to answer. So the first thing you're going to do is to underline all these questions. For example, this address, he's asking for address. Now here you have to predict and you have to tell your brain what are you looking for. This is very important, right? Unless you know what information are you listening for, you won't be able to write it correctly. So here you have to do 2 things: underline the question, what are you looking for, and then to predict, because this word here, address, is telling us that in this blank space we need to write some address, something about the address. Could be a house number, a flat number, a name of a place, or anything, name of the road or something. So this is very important. Now the rest of the information is also very important, because half of the information is there already. This is something like, this is more like a note-taking thing, you know. So you have to take notes. Not everything you are going to listen is important for you, but only the keywords. All right, because the question is always based on the keyword, right? So address is important. You're going to underline this thing in a very short time, so you have to practice, you have to keep practicing to be mastered in that. All right, now address is important. All right, what is missing here? Something is missing with the address. The half of the address is there. Then the telephone number, but here one thing is to be noted, that there is no question sign here. There is no 1 2 3 question number here, right? So you're not going to answer this question, even though they're going to tell you about the telephone number, but you're not going to put it over here because it is not going to be counted. Sometimes they're putting blank spaces just to distract you. Alright, so you are only going to look for the question numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 and 6 and 7, whatever, how many questions they have asked you for. They have asked you to look at questions 1 to 8, so there are going to be 8 questions. Alright, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Alright, the next thing is course. So course, here you have to underline course and you have to predict. It could be a name of the course, so it would be easier for you when you listen to it. Every time you're doing listening, any section you're doing, you have to predict your answers. You have to tell your brain, your mind, what are you looking for. Alright, so this is very important. The next thing is teacher's name. This is very important. So a name must come here. So you're listening for a name now. And again, you have student visa expiry date. Okay, so expiry date, so there is a date here. All right, then I wish to request leave. All right, leave in term, so the term number is going to be here. Right, the term number, so again you're looking for a number. Now dates of leave. All right, this is important. Now there are 2 dates and this is 6 and 7, so there are going to be 2 dates. And always make it a habit when you're doing this listening paper, always look at 2 questions at a time. All right, because sometimes the information is coming in a rapid way, you know, they're rapidly giving you information, so it's in a flow. So you have to understand that sometimes it comes question number 3 and 4 together, or 6 and 7 together. So you have to be very careful about it. Always look at 2 questions. Now there are 2 dates we are looking for, dash to dash. All right, so you have to be prepared for that. Number of working days missed. So again we are looking for something in numbers, number of days. All right, so this is how you are going to predict, and this is how you are going to underline the questions. The questions are very important. You must understand what they're asking and what you are going to listen for. Believe me, if you do these 2 things, these are going to be very important for your paper. All right, and always remember that section 1 and 2 are the easiest sections. Section 1 is the easiest, and then 2, and then 3, and then 4. So section 3 is going to be more difficult for you. So section 1 and 2, you cannot afford to go wrong in these 2 sections, section 1 and 2. So you have to be very accurate in these sections. All right, so now let's move on, and we will see, we will listen to it, and we will see what is the conversation about, just to have the idea. All right, let's move on.
Hello, Foreign Student Advisor's Office. This is Bob Wills speaking. Can I help you?
It's Angela Tung here, Bob. I'd like to make a request for special leave. Can I do that over the phone?
Hello, Angela. You can make that request by phone, but I'll have to fill the form out. Let me get the special leave form. Okay, here it is. Tell me your student number, please.
It's H for Harry, 5712.
H5712. Okay. What's your address, Angela?
I live at 10 Bridge Street, Tamworth.
10 Bridge Street, Tamworth. And your phone number?
The telephone number's 8106745.
Thanks. What course are you doing?
I'm in the writing class.
Writing. Who's your teacher this term?
Mrs. Green. She spells her name like the colour.
Thanks.
Alright guys, as you listen to it, and in this conversation you just listened to, she already told her name, it was written here, Angela Thong. Then he asked about her student number, H5712, it is already written here. And the telephone number, you were not supposed to write that, so it is blank. Now the address was 10 Bridge Street. One thing you should remember, that whatever you're going to write in the blank spaces, it should be very accurate grammatically and spelling wise, otherwise you lose your marks. Alright, so question number 2 was about the course. So the course was writing, or you can also write writing class, or the course is writing. That's fine. And the teacher's name, as she said, it was Mrs. Green, and she said it is spelled like the color green, so Green. As you can see, this is green written here. Okay, now this is one example of the questions you're going to encounter in section 1. Now let's have another example now. Okay guys, let's have a look to another type of questions, which is multiple choice questions. For this section, section 1, multiple choice are not very confusing. Sometimes they are, but most of the times they are not. But for other parts, for part 2, section 2 and section 3, multiple choices could be confusing. Okay, so first things first, we have to underline, why does Angela want to take leave? Why does Angela want to take leave? Now the possible options are here to visit her aunt, and you know, when you're doing multiple choice questions, the questions are itself very important, and then during the conversation you can always look at the choices. So where is Angela going? Now this is the second question, so you have to keep in your mind. And the third is, who is going with Angela? All right, her uncle, her father, all right, her aunt. Okay, now during your conversation, during the conversation, during the recording, when you're listening to it, you can always have a look. Keep in your mind that you're not going to just put the first thing you hear. For example, if in the beginning of the conversation they say that she's going to visit her aunt and uncle, so you can put a tick over here, but this is not your final answer at that time, because you have to keep listening and listening until you can differentiate between the right and wrong answers, because multiple choices are sometimes confusing. All right, but the keywords are always going to tell you what your answer could be. So while you're doing multiple choices, you have to be careful always. Now let's listen to it.
Why do you want to take leave, Angela?
I'm going to visit my Aunt May. She's my mother's sister. She and her husband are my guardians while I'm here.
Where do they live?
About 50 kilometres from here, near Armadale.
Do you have to take so long if they live nearby?
My mother is coming with me. She's come for a holiday, so she wants to have some time with May. And I want to spend some time with my mother too.
Aren't you going home soon?
I've applied to extend my time here. I expect to go home in 12 months.
Alright, as you listen to that, multiple choices in this sections sounded easier. Alright, so the first answer was, of course, she was going to her aunt and uncle. Of course, she was going to her aunt and uncle. Alright, and so option A was the correct one. Then we have, where is Angela going? So she said near Armadale. So section C is the correct answer. And then she said, who is going with Angela? She said her mother is going with her. So B is the correct answer. That's how we are doing the multiple choice questions. Let's have another look to another section now.